currently live in Emporium in the Philippines. I want to say magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat. And for the people in the US watching this live at the Emporium, good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to at least check it out. Check us out. Emporium is a unique US based, the first of its kind. Okay, the first of its kind. It's a Philippine-made and inspired product showroom and global business center. And its purpose is to create awareness as well as sales opportunities for Philippine-made products, services, and investments in the U.S. market. And Emporium is actually a physical place. Like I said, that's where I'm at right now. It's located at 3250 Wilshire Boulevard, number 602 in Los Angeles, California. So if you want to come and visit, please do so. We welcome you. Just go ahead and let us know when you're coming. Thank you. But what the Live Emporium is, this is one of the tools that we use to create the awareness, the sales opportunities by people watching, and hopefully organically, or what we're doing on social media is reaching other people. And I think it is. At the end of the day, what we want is that awareness creation. Okay, so that's what Live at the Emporium is. And today it is packed full of amazing stuff.
You know, so many things challenge the Philippine manufacturers or exporters that want to enter the U.S. market, and as well as U.S. entrepreneurs who are trying to create a business from promoting or selling Philippine-made products. And those are true challenges. And you know what? Two of them are having like a reliable supply chain or value chain, with and also a secure and quick way to receive payments from U.S. buyers in the U.S. market. So those are the challenges that we're going to talk about today. There are a lot of other challenges, but you know what? Today's show, we think we have the solution. And I'm excited to sort of dive into this topic, because out of all the challenges that Philippine manufacturers have, or any Philam who wants to create a business out of Philippine products, that's their two biggest concern: how to get paid, and how to properly bring the products here. Once it's here, how do you distribute it? Where do you store it? That's the problem. Those are the two biggest problems. There are other things, but today we're chipping away at all of those problems slowly but surely. And with Live at the Emporium, that's what we're doing. Hello, everybody. My name is Ferdinand Soriano, and I am the co-founder of Emporium, and also your host for this special vendor spotlight Live at the Emporium edition. And for those people who have never, ever heard of Emporium, then I want to go ahead and explain to what Emporium is all about. Emporium is a first of its kind, US-based, Philippine-made, and inspired product showroom and global business center. And our humongous task, and I say this every episode, every week that I think about what we're trying to do overall, it takes a village, right? But what we're trying to do, for all those who want to really know what Emporium is about, what we're trying to really do is create awareness, and sales opportunity. Awareness is one thing, but sales opportunity is probably what I would always strive for, to create this awareness and sales opportunities for Philippine-made products, services, and investments in the U.S. market. And then those are the things that we really strive for and focus in every day. So we want to thank you, thank all the people that continuously watch the Live at the Emporium and all its different ways of bringing you content, from doing events, from doing these live streams, from doing interviews, for doing posts on social media. Thank you for all of those who continue to support us. And for those who are watching now, let us know where you guys are watching. This is an interactive show. This is not like just, talking, this is not a presentation, so to speak. This is our way of bringing you something that's informative, educational, and hopefully entertaining too. So please let us know, where are you watching right now? Are you watching in the Philippines? Are you watching from the U.S.? Tell us the city, tell us the province, tell us where you are in the States. And also, if you happen to be, an entrepreneur yourself, tell us, put in the chat box, what's the name of your business? I want to know who's watching, what businesses are watching. So please do that. Now, what I'm about to, the people that I'm about to introduce, they've become friends of mine also. And that's the reason why I want to support them and what they're doing. But it's not even just about being friends. It's about really them providing a value to this whole thing about creating awareness and sales opportunity for Philippine-made products. Now, I want to go ahead and start bringing up all of the people that we brought in and asked today. There's two guys that I've become good friends with, and I've gotten to know them a little bit on the personal side. So it's kind of nice to have them on and be comfortable and not to be so informal, right? So with me, what I want to go ahead and do is, before we start, I want to go ahead and maybe go into a quick break before I introduce to you our first guest. So with that being said, I'm going to go take a quick 30-second break, and let's listen to Bayani Pay.
Libre remittance at mataas na exchange rate? With Bayani Pay, mas secure na, mas mura pa. Ang Bayani Pay ay bank-to-bank transfer na walang middleman, kaya mas maaasahan. Sa registration, kailangan lang mag-scan ng ID at mag-selfie para sure na ikaw talaga yan. At pag nag-connect ka na ng bank account, huwag kang mag-alala dahil di namin ini-store ang bank details mo. Sigurado na darating ang remittance mo dahil kumpleto ang information ng iyong recipient. Remit na with Bayani Pay!
I put Bayani Pay first because they're actually going to be our guests today. I'm going to go ahead and save them a little bit later. But for now, I want to welcome all of you back to Live at the Emporium Vendor Spotlight. We are bringing two amazing vendors that we feel will chip away at all these Philippine exporter challenges that they have in trying to get into the U.S. market. So let's get to it. Let's dive right into the topic of the day, which is in this the first part of the show. We're talking about third, maybe even fourth party logistics. I know you're going, what the heck is a third party, fourth party logistics? And I will let my guests explain that. But let me go ahead and introduce this gentleman, who, like I said, I have a kind of a quick story with him. I met them in one of the seminars that I did for Search to Involve Filipino American. And from then on, I started to really, go off and on in our relationship. And this was like over maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I thought maybe one day we'll work together. And here we are. So anyway, let me give you a little bit background on this gentleman that I'm about to introduce to you. He has 20 plus years of success in leading and driving world-class operations and complex supply chains for diverse industries like electronics, high-tech, CPG, and chemical and organizations ranging from startups to Fortune 500 company. He is amazing at what he does. So he decided to say, you know what? I'm going to lean into helping the Philippines. And the Philippines is lucky to have this gentleman. So I'm excited to bring him on. The name of his company is Globalitynet. And I would like all of you to welcome, and please ask this gentleman, if you're a Philippine manufacturer, ask this gentleman, put it in the chat box, what he does and how he does it, okay, while he's talking. So please welcome Gino Gatmaitan.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? How are you guys? To those in the Philippines, magandang umaga.
Gino, I'm excited to have you here. So before you begin, I wanted to see if we can stroll down memory lane, bro. I mean, the first time I met you, I think, wasn't it at Search to Involve Filipino Americans? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think maybe 10 years ago, close to 10 years ago, maybe. That's my memory, by the way. It's been a while.
Yeah, no, I do. I remember that because, well, the first time I remember talking to you, I said to myself, this guy's going to be my competitor. He's going to be like doing what I'm doing. But you know what? You're even beyond what I already actually even started even back then. So to me, everybody should be listening to you right now, because I said a lot of Philippine manufacturers, they ask me all the time, like, okay, do you know a warehouse? Do you know how to get the products? It's one thing to get it out of the Philippines, but how do you bring it into the U.S.? How do you distribute the products, right? How do you consolidate? All of those things that I am looking forward for you to talk about a little bit about. You've got a good amount of time, 20 minutes. So why don't we just get right into it? You talk about who you are, what you do, and all the things that you're trying to do for Philippine manufacturers to create some sort of a market footprint here in the U.S. market, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, here you go. The camera is all yours, my friend.
Thank you, Ferdinand. I love your energy, man. I don't understand where you get it from. So again, good morning, everyone. Magandang umaga to those in the Philippines. My name is Gino Gatmaitan. I've been in supply chain operations and logistics for over 20 plus years. As Freddie mentioned, I've worked in manufacturing for startups, CPG, retail, and logistics and 3PLs and warehousing. Today, we're going to talk about the benefits of 3PLs and 4PLs to Philippine manufacturing, trying to penetrate the market here in the US. I want to start first with what is 3PL, or what is third party logistics company. 3PL pretty much is using another company to manage your warehousing and logistics. A lot of companies in the US use 3PLs, not only small companies, but big companies as well. For instance, a company I work for, Samsung, I manage their North America parts operations, had 3PLs manage their North America parts and supply chain. So they have 8 facilities in North America managed by 3 different 3PL companies. So the benefits of using a 3PL for outside companies or companies from the Philippines, first I'd say is it lowers the barriers to penetrating the market, right? So you don't know the market, it's foreign to you. You just know there's a lot of people that can consume your products there. So how do you get your product? How do you ship it out? So that's half of the equation. You have a great product, but you don't know how to ship it out. So that's by using a third-party logistics company, they will manage all of that for you, from getting the product into the warehouse to getting the product in the warehouse properly packaged and managed with proper inventory control and proper process controls, to shipping the product out and the order management. So that is one of the number one benefits, I would say, of having a 3PL manage your product fulfillment. The second benefit would be lower cost. Obviously, if you were to open your own warehouse to fulfill products and fulfill orders, it would be more costly due to you'd have to rent a full building, a full facility, instead of just hiring a subsection of a facility. And then also you share the associates in a 3PL compared to hiring your own associates. So cost is a big differentiator as well in going forward with a 3PL to manage your supply chain and fulfillment. The third piece to it is kind of controversial because it's 3PLs. The right 3PL should provide expertise and best practices in warehousing and logistics. Now, I say right 3PL because there's a lot of 3PLs out there that are just 4 walls. Pretty much, they've been doing the same thing for decades and decades without any technology, without any innovation, without proper people having the right knowledge. So that's a big caveat. Although it's they're supposed to provide expertise, some of them don't. With that said, right, having the right 3PL will provide expertise in warehousing logistics. They will provide peace of mind knowing that you've done your work on your side. You have a great product. You have a great marketing, and things are selling. Now is the other half of the equation. If you don't have the right 3PL, you will not have the peace of mind. The peace of mind is super critical in understanding and knowing that your customers are getting their product in a timely manner and that product is in good quality. Because if without that, it's just gonna, which is a good segue, it's gonna increase your cost, right? There's a lot of cost involved if you have bad product shipping out. Not only the rework, you have the returns cost, you also have the rework cost. You also have to replace a product and reship it. So those are the top 3 benefits to hiring or going forward with using a 3PL to fulfill orders here in the US. Any questions so far? We can't hear you, Freddie.
Sorry, I had it muted. I always do that. Anyway, so there's people actually tuning in, and out of the 3 viewers, I think they told their friends actually. So we're doing really good today. So we've got like 20 at least viewers right now, and it's growing as we grow. And I'll show some of the people that are actually watching. But this segment, I really want you to talk a little bit about your company, because we can dive a little bit more into the other parts of the about the 3PL. But I want you to sort of start going into that, like that little slide I showed, who you are and what you do, and all of the things that you do. So if you don't mind, why don't we get into that?
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so Globalitynet is a full stack supply chain outsourcing company. I know it's a mouthful, but what does that mean? That means we'll handle all of your supply chain and logistics tasks, so you can focus on your business. So Globalitynet has two sides. Globalitynet, the BPO company, we've been around since 2016. We specialize in supply chain outsourcing and consulting for inventory analysts, purchasing agents, inventory planners, logistics specialists, order entry associates. So if you have a product that you're selling and you need someone to purchase those products, manage those products from an ERP system or some kind of order management or business management system, we have the associates and the analysts based in the Philippines to manage that side of your business. Now, on the flip side, you do have a product. Now you need to sell it, as I mentioned in my previous feedback. We also have a 3PL company that we're starting soon, where we will manage the supply chain portion of fulfillment and logistics. So the warehousing, the shipping of orders, the logistics of those orders, and providing you with the right automation and the right transparency so that you know where your orders are, your customers know where your orders are. So that's what it means when I say full stack supply chain outsourcing for small and mid-sized businesses. From end to end in your supply chain, whatever you need, Globalitynet is there for you. And I'm passionate about supply chain since I've been in supply chain management for over 20 years. As previously mentioned, I have a master's in supply chain, and that's where I live and breathe by. My other passion is helping my Filipino people, right? That's why I started BPO company, Filipino-owned BPO company, so that I can help my folks. And now on the flip side, again, if I have Filipino manufacturers out there trying to penetrate the market here in the US, reach out to me. I have my information scrolling at the bottom, and I can work with you. And even if you're not a customer, even if you just want to brainstorm, feel free to reach out. We'll figure something out. You have a sounding board to give ideas to, and we can brainstorm.
I'm gonna interrupt you there, Gino. Sometimes, when we have people watching, and because we're so quick in trying to just figure out, or even don't even have time for any Philippine manufacturer watching right now, knowing this friend, this guy, is like a dream come true to me. Because you know why? Because a lot of Philippine exporters, it's like if you don't know anyone in a market and you don't know how to get the product in, and you don't know if you can even trust them, that's critical. That's critical to know somebody like that. I'm not even talking about all the things he just listed on his PowerPoint. I'm talking about things that, from the perspective of his heart is in the right place. He's worked for a major corporation, but now he wants to help small, medium, to medium-sized entrepreneurs, or rather MSMEs, to really slowly try out the market. And he has that heart. He's not looking for, of course, if somebody, huge company, wants to use his services, of course you'll do that all day long, right, Gino? But at the end of the day, I think he's looking for he's looking for people to help that just want to understand how to bring the products in, put them in a warehouse, where you don't even have to have a warehouse, figure out how to store it and minimize the cost of storing that. Because the biggest problem that Philippine manufacturers have, I feel like, is that they don't have a place where they can put the products. I mean, you could list the aid of Gino from if you want to sell one product at a time. But if you really want to try out your product and you want to be here in the market and maybe even have a pallet full of products, I feel like those are the things that we need to address, Gino. Like, why don't we imagine a small to medium-sized manufacturers trying to get into the U.S. market and maybe want to ship in a pallet or something like that? How would you handle that? And what would be the benefit of working for, with your company, Gino?
The benefit of working with my company is normally for a pallet, a lot of companies will not even take a pallet. So that's the number one benefit. Just doing a pallet is something that's below their threshold. So number one for me is I'll help you out. I'll manage that pallet. My team will manage that pallet, and you'll still have the automation and transparency that you need, so you know where your products are. It's only one pallet, but for a small company, that's a big pallet in terms of cost, right? So that's how we would manage it. Ship it to us, and we will do the fulfillment, whether it's B2C, business to consumer, or B2B, business to business.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I want to kind of keep hovering about that and be practical in what we're trying to achieve here with Philippine manufacturers. I know that a lot of them want to try the market. Sometimes I feel like Philippine manufacturers, there are some, I'm not saying every one of them is like that. I'm just talking about the ones that have this dream, this vision that their product is so awesome, or it's so compelling that they need to export this product. But again, I don't sell necessarily the tools of how to bring the product in. Sometimes, you know what, Gino, to be honest with you, I sell trust at the end of the day. Because the one thing that I've always tried to preach, so to speak, with a lot of the Philippine manufacturers is just like when I was a kid, when my dad first came here and he was by himself and all that. He was good. All he knew is that the U.S. is a great place for an opportunity, right? So he knew enough people, but he knew people that could help him find a job, meaning like they're not going to give him a job, but they'll know where to maybe have him apply or how to apply and all that. I feel like with what you do, Gino, and all the people that I have in these shows, is that's what I'm trying to sell, so to speak, okay, or promote, is that trust. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of Philippine manufacturers who love their product. Their product is amazing. They're passionate about it, right? But they don't know the U.S. market. And to me, I think, if you can keep on talking about that aspect of it, like the smallness, the benefit of how you're going to treat them and what you're trying to do in terms of the customer service. That's what I really like for you to kind of keep on going and talk to them more about that.
Right. So with my experience in 3PLs and warehousing, my experience is a lot of it is with bigger companies, right? So we will do a minimizing of the same level of service, but to the degree of a smaller company. That's the same thing we've done with the BPO, with my BPO side of the business, is that all these huge companies, they have their own BPOs, they have their own shared resource in the Philippines. However, there's nothing for the small business. So the space that we're in is in the small and mid-sized, smaller companies that we're really passionate about. Hey, we're trying to level the playing field for you guys. So here's Globality to help you with that. You need warehousing, we got you. You need customer support, we got you. We have the people and an infrastructure in place to get that done. And the automation, quite frankly, for a smaller 3PL, for a smaller company to have the automation that we will provide in terms of the order management, order orchestration, and the warehouse management system, it is pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you know Gino, his experience is so vast. I mean, he's literally have made a lot of people well off in the way he's able to manage that. Because to me, as much as I like to think I know how to promote products and talk to people, that is an integral part. And that's why I say to everyone that I talk to, there's three S's in what we do, the international trade between Philippines and the US. We need to really secure the three S's, which is the sourcing, shipping, and selling. Gino falls into that shipping aspect of it, because that goes into bringing the product in, knowing how to make it compliant, and knowing how to store it and even deliver it. So that's why, to me, that really hits home run with me. And anybody who's watching, any Philippine manufacturer watching, you need to talk to Gino and have him sort of even give you some sort of a proposal or some sort of discussion or a consulting, because what he's doing, if you have that glimmer of being an exporter of Philippine products in this huge U.S. market, you need to talk to him. So with that being said, though, Gino, why don't we, if you can rattle off from the top of your head the common challenges you think, and practical tips for implementing, an effective logistical strategy.
To me, the top challenges that I've had throughout my career is in supply chain operations and logistics would be operations execution. There's a lot of things that could go wrong in executing your strategy, right? Especially in logistics, there could be a warehouse associate that's not having a good day and stops picking the order or start throwing your product around, to a truck that has a driver that's not that goes the wrong direction. So to me, the execution of operations is critical. So you can see that from when you go to a 3PL, you can see how the execution is and process controls. Because if without those, you can have the best technology, and I'm speaking from experience. You can have a company that has the best technology, the best software out there, but if you go to the floor and you see that the folks are not doing what they're supposed to do, or the process is broken, it's counterproductive. The second challenge would be finding the right partner that has the innovation. So the first part is the execution of operations. The second part is the innovation. Every company out there, including my company, needs to continue to innovate, to find ways to make it better for the customer, make it better for the workers, and make it better win-win pretty much for every single stakeholder out there. So you need to find a company that's continually innovating their operations, their supply chain, and their product. In terms of product, I mean the software that they have to make it seamless. We see that every day with Amazon, right? We see that every day with Uber. You need to continue to evolve. So those are the top challenges for me in logistics and supply chain, is the execution of operations, even the simple things that could go wrong. If it's not done correctly, things will go sideways. Secondly, the challenge of the mindset of having innovation, so that you continue to be competitive in the market.
That was a lot, and that was so valuable. Because this whole topic of yours is truly integral to this whole thing, right? And we could do an hour of it, but I'm a big fan of just giving the people a little bit of that. And if they really want to speak to you, then they should reach out to you, because your heart is in creating and uplifting the Philippine products and the country itself. And that's why I think that any Philippine manufacturer right now, again, if you're interested in talking to Gino, then go ahead and message us. There has been some questions. The one person that I was actually thinking about when you were saying all that was a lady by the name of Marie Judy Abrina. She is part of Sikaya, an amazing brand on natural products, ingredients. And she did ask, and maybe what I'll do is, because we're running out of time in this segment, she did ask, I'm going to go flash it on the screen, whether you get to answer it now or later, then we'll do that later. Okay. But just so that the audience know that there is interest in what we are talking about, because their goal is to bring a lot more of the Philippine ingredients in the U.S. market efficiently, as well as cost effectively, right? Because at the end of the day, what you just said regarding the software, the technology, and how to get around and how to get a bit cheaper rates is what people are looking for. That was the question she asked. Do you have a sample illustration of your process flow chart, starting with shipping from the Philippines to fulfillment or drop ship to customers with timeliness and cost? And whether you're going to be able to answer that now, maybe we can hold it for later, Gino, and go on to the next segment. But I just wanted to at least address that. Those are the questions. And this is coming from a huge manufacturer of ingredients, and also, research and development, all combined, because they're part of a bigger company out there. So if you don't know, what I'm talking about, go please Google Sekaya. And you should be able to figure out who they're part of. It's Sekaya, Sekaya. So with that being said, there's a lot of other people that are watching. Let's go ahead and sort of bring attention to them now. I want to say hello to Vinky Jaisaki Rice Wine. She says, hello, Ferdinand. She also, Ria Villahermosa, greetings from the Philippines. And also, let's see who else is watching. Anna de la Bahan, thank you, Anna, for watching. And also Carlo Morales from Ortigas Center, Pasig City. Hey, I think my cousin lives there. I don't know if Carlo knows Mahal or Kay Soriano. And then also Mike Cartero is there. I think they're also in logistics. So we're getting a lot of different types of people into the show. So Gino, I want you to stick around because we're going to go ahead and go into our next segment, okay? A lot of the stuff that you said at the end, there's so much value in what you're bringing. There are other third-party logistics, but what makes you different is because you have the heart to help the Philippine manufacturers and you understand their plight, right?
Exactly. My passion is to help my folks. I was born and raised midway through my life in the Philippines. I see the struggle, so I feel their pain, and I want to share some of the fortune that we have here in the U.S. to the Philippines.
Yeah. So with that being said, don't go anywhere. I know you're a busy guy. We had some logistical problems earlier, and I know that he's probably have another night, but I'm hoping he can stick around and go into more maybe question and answer later and talk a little bit more about third-party logistics. But at the end of the day, Gino, thank you so much for being on the show. Hopefully you can start until the end, but stick around.
I'll stay on
because I have another amazing guest that's going to. Yeah, there's going to be another amazing guest that I want you to stick around because I feel like you two can work together and sort of joining forces and helping more Philippine products come into the U.S. market. So with that being said, let me go ahead and see if I can get into our next commercial. And then before we introduce the next gentleman. So here is one of the supporters of Philippine-made products are live at the Emporium. I want to go ahead and introduce Terra Philippines, the makers of amazing eco-friendly bags. And we are back. For all those who have just tuned in, I should say, welcome to Live at the Emporium Vendor Spotlight. And for those who've never heard of Emporium, let me remind you what we do. What we do is we create sales opportunities and awareness for Philippine-made products, services, and investments in the U.S. market. This is another one of those amazing episodes, not because, we're doing it. It's just that it's so full of amazing information, especially if you are a Philippine manufacturer, okay, or you are a Filipino American here in the U.S. that wants to buy Philippine-made products, not necessarily one at a time, but a certain amount, maybe a pallet or maybe even half of a pallet, but you don't know how the heck do you pay for this? How do you pay for this product, right? So this gentleman again has been my friend for a while, and I've gotten to know him. He's gone to a lot of different roles in what he does. He's been in let me go ahead and properly introduce him. The next segment that we're going to have, this gentleman, I've gotten to know him because there is a company that he's involved with that's how I met him. It's called Shop Sari Sari. It's an online platform that's doing amazing promoting Philippine-made products. But my friend, his business skills and experience is vast. He's got so much experience, right? He's held numerous roles for various well-known companies in industries like finance, equipment leasing, banking, and beverage industry. His last position as the president of Philippine National Bank remittance centers in North America is what makes him an amazing addition to Bayani Pay family. Okay, I showed you Bayani Pay earlier. Now, the video and the commercial and what they're all about. But now we get to dive in a little bit more about what Bayani Pay, who Bayani Pay is, and what they do. And I'm excited to have this gentleman in our show because if you listen to him too, this is one of those challenges that Philippine manufacturers have can now be solved. It can be chipped away as far as creating roadblocks and doing international trade, because their company is all about how to pay the Philippine manufacturers quick. I mean, don't you Philippine manufacturers want to get paid quick? I don't know. I do. So this will help. At least I'm overly simplifying it. So without further ado, let me introduce Ricky Villacisneros. Again, Ricky Villacisneros of Bayani Pay. Hey, Ricky.
Hey, Ferdinand, how are you? It's nice to be back in your show, and thank you for having me.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you to be here, my friend, because at the end of the day, my feeling is that it's more fun when I get to bring on board people that I know, they're friends, right? Because it's easier to talk to them. It's not so you're informal, but at the end of the day, we're just trying to solve a problem. Okay, we're just trying to solve problems for Philippine manufacturers as well as Philam business. So I'm going to shut up now and let you talk about who you are, what Bayani Pay is all about, and then we can just get into, tell us about how Bayani Pay can help U.S.-based Philams buy products from the Philippines, but also help Philippine manufacturers get paid quicker. So I'm going to turn the camera over to you, okay?
Okay. And thank you very much for that nice introduction, Ferdinand. Again, my name is Ricky Villacisneros. I've been in the financial industry for more than 20 years now. And we're very passionate about helping our Filipino individuals and businesses, both here in the US and as well as in the Philippines, because what we'd like to bring to you to the table is on how we can add value to whatever you do. On this particular discussion, we are talking about how we can actually help the businesses doing business both in the Philippines and in the US. And I like your format, Ferdinand. It's very interactive. It's very engaging. It's live, and you can feel the one presenting, because we in Bayani Pay, we're here actually to be a part of your organization. I'm talking about the businesses as well as even Gino, the one who was talking about the 3PL earlier. So we'd like to be a part of your organization. But let me start by telling you guys who Bayani Pay is. Bayani Pay is actually a fintech company. We're not a financial institution, and we are digital partner, remittance agent of BDO, Remittance USA. So BDO is the largest bank in the Philippines, and we partner as well with BDO Unibank in the Philippines. So if you will notice in the illustration, it's a very simple illustration. So you have the seller or manufacturer, or you can call it producer in the Philippines. And then what we do is to make sure that you get paid. We are the reverse of what was presented earlier by Gino, wherein the manufacturer wants wanted to make sure that their products goes to the buyer or the consumers. We are the reverse of that. We make sure that your payments will get to you, because at the end of the day, guys, you want to do business and you want to make sure that you will get paid, and the whole process will be seamless. Okay, so you have a product, for example, you're selling, example, dried mango. You'd like to sell it in the US, and that's very popular in this. Even in Costco, one of the largest retailers here, is selling Philippine brand dried mangoes. So, for example, you send products to Costco, and you wanted to make sure that you will be paid. And here comes Bayani Pay. We're actually here to provide you that seamless service. We are reliable simply because we are backed by BDO. Our system is so robust, and we understand the needs of our clients. We are accessible, available, meaning to say we operate 24 by 7. So anytime a buyer or a consumer wanted to pay you, they can pay anytime. And the security, it's a bank level security. We are very compliant, and we follow all the regulations of the states that we work in. So right now we operate in 4 states, namely California, Hawaii, Alaska, and New Jersey. So if you are supplying to those locations, we can support you. And you will notice the information I have, the scrolling names there at the bottom. You can actually email me, and then we can actually discuss all the details that we can give you. You are concerned, of course. I'm talking to the suppliers here, or maybe to the potential buyers in the US. So, of course, we are concerned about pricing. We'd like to add more value to our bottom line. And with Bayani Pay, what we offer actually is a zero fee and high exchange rate. So, you cannot beat that, right? So, value, price-wise, it will add up to your bottom line. And customer service, you have 2 sets of customer service. Number one, if you're in the US, you sort of like having a relationship manager. We're here. We have an office in Los Angeles. So you can simply call us, text us, and we will be there immediately to assist you. And we are open 24 by 7 in terms of customer service. We have a call center, or a customer service center in the Philippines, both in Manila as well. The bigger one is in Cebu, and especially those in the Visayas, Mindanao region. You can even talk to them in Visaya. So we are open 24 by 7. We can also give that information to you, and we give that as we sign up our customers. So this company is founded by a Silicon Valley guy. The name is Winston Damario, and he has done a lot of Silicon Valley exits. He's a former VC as well, and he's a co-founder of a lot of fintech companies. And with almost 10 years of experience, both here in the US as well as in the Philippines. The technology that we have put in our platform, that's very robust. And I'm proud to say that we are a Philippine-owned company. There might be some other solutions there. And, of course, I encourage you to work with Filipinos, because we are working with Filipino products, working with Filipino companies. So we are Filipino. This one that's being presented is actually the one that's reversed. I was talking to you about. So you send the products to the US, and Globalitynet, Gino can help you on that one. And on our end, what we can do is to assist you on making sure that you are getting paid on time without worries. So yeah, if you have any questions, you have my information there, and at the same time, you can reach out to Ferdinand. I guess Ferdinand can actually forward that to us as well.
You know, that's what I love about what we do, because we're trying to promote all these different methods in how to bring or help Philippine manufacturers. Ricky, I'm as equally excited for you to be here, because again, at the end of the day, what Emporium does, yes, we create the awareness, but when you talk about sales opportunities, you can't make sales if you don't, if you don't have a way to make it easier for people to pay you. I'm trying to bring it to that level of hopefully sinking into the Philippine manufacturer's mind. Like, for example, I want to say hello to Mariel Manansalan, who he is the manufacturer. He's a manufacturer of handcrafted leather bags in the Philippines called Mr. M. Okay. Mr. M's bags are amazing, right? So there could be people here now that probably, because of what I may have done already, who may want to buy 5, 10, maybe, I don't know, 15 pieces of this, but not a whole big order yet. But somebody who wants to sell it at pop-up events like that. How is that buyer going to buy that product from Mariel and not have to be charged like a wire fee in the Philippines? I mean, in their banks to send that money over, right? And also, that to me, that's the reason why I'm trying to bring it to that level of understanding, because at the end of the day, now it opens up a lot more opportunities for Mariel to sell a smaller amount and not having to come up with a big amount, for small sellers, resellers here, and they could easily pay Mariel with, like you said, a minimal fee, right? It's a seamless transaction and it's cost effective. So, right, Ricky? I mean, am I sort of maybe overly simplifying it, but is that basically what we're trying to achieve with Bayani Pay?
Actually, you're exactly correct, for them, because we've been talking to a lot of buyers here, and their concern is that they use banks. Most of them are using bank, and when you use bank, two things can happen. Number one, you will be charged a wire fee, and wire fee is quite hefty. So you're talking about maybe 40 up to 100 or even more. So that's something that on the buyers in the US, that's something that's we will eat up your bottom line. Okay, and at the same time, the exchange rate normally on those institutions is a lot lower than what we offer. So
Yes.
sometimes exchange rate would be of like $1.50, or peso 50 or 2 pesos per dollar difference. That's a lot. If you're sending, say, $40,000 paying your manufacturer in the Philippines, so that's like what, at one peso, that's 40,000 pesos. That's a lot. That's $800 more or less. So that's the value on our the one paying from here in the US. But at the same time, on those in the Philippines, they wanted to make sure that they get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Yeah.
they would, if we have the privilege of talking to them and encourage them on what platform to use, we would like, of course, Bayani Pay, because we are a reputable, backed up by a well-known institution, BDO, and we're here locally. So I mean, we have a physical office and we have a 24/7 service. So you can go wrong.
Yeah.
And
At,
and
at the
our passion is actually to help on both sides, US and the Philippines.
Yeah, at the end, you're also, I want to bring it to their attention. There are a lot of people, small businesses now, right, that are actually using virtual assistants. Okay. So keep that, think about that. I don't know. Maybe I'm overstepping it, Ricky. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like getting excited about what you're saying. But how about those businesses that have virtual assistants? Couldn't they use Bayani Pay?
Actually, I think you read my mind, Ferdinand, because I wanted to. We're talking about like products from the Philippines, and in the Philippines we have two kinds of products. One would be very tangible physical products. These are like the products that you consume, that you use to, for cooking or whatnot. And we have actually product wherein we have very talented Filipinos, and we're number one in terms of BPOs, call centers, as they call it in the Philippines. Right now, Bayani Pay is actually servicing those companies, especially here in the US, who are actually utilizing VAs in the Philippines. So we work with these companies in the US to pay their VAs. So that's very seamless, and we're getting a lot of appreciation, recognition, because if they use other platforms, for example, they use say Payoneer or PayPal, okay, just to compare. But that's true. That's true. I mean, fees there is kind of hefty, and exchange rates are kind of low. So,
Yeah, I mean, they
telling, yeah, go
all they
ahead.
have to do is Google all of that. I mean, maybe that's going to be the next presentation. But to me, I feel like you're Winston and the rest of the Bayani Pay team. I feel like at the end of the day, has hit on something that I don't even know what to me is a game changer on all aspects of it. Right? I don't want to use that word lightly, but it is. Because again, this is about getting paid, making it easier for people to buy, and not making the cost of sending money to be a deterrent for ruining people's bottom lines in the Philippines when they're trying to sell a product, Ricky. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. Yeah, I mean, so that's why right now let's recap that. I mean, you're saying that people can buy quicker and more secure and a more transparent transaction. They can use it to buy products in the Philippines, and because I think the minimum. I think you said it was like 100. I don't know if you're the one who said it or somebody. It was like a minimum is $100, right? So if they're trying to buy a product, maybe they want to buy a product. These are for people here who want to buy Philippine products, not just to own for themselves. Okay, unless you're a baller and you want to buy more than 100, dollars worth. That's fine. But we're also talking about businesses that maybe want to try and test out products, and maybe they buy at least $100 worth of products. You can accommodate that, right, Ricky?
Yeah, exactly. We accommodate those kind of transactions from actually 99 for them, that's our minimum, to even like couple of tens of thousands or 100,000. We do that. We do proper documentation because we'd like to be as compliant as possible, because
I
not as possible, we have to be compliant. And
mhm.
and that's it. We can do all those transactions.
My mind is just blown, right? Because that is the biggest thing that I feel like half the time is a big pain in the ass. Is you got to order so much amount of money. But like I said, most international trade transactions, you don't order huge amounts right away. That's the thing. You don't,
Mhm.
because you want to try it. You want to see how it goes, right? And that's the reason why these two guests that I have today, we're talking about, yes, they're talking about small time in the beginning, but don't get me wrong. I'm not small minded or small thinking. I'm just thinking, how do you start it? Because that's the issue. That's why I go back to the reality of when my father came here, and I said to you that, yes, my father didn't know a lot of people, but the people that he did know, he would tell them, okay, you go over there, you go over there, you live here. Just that's something of a guide, but he wasn't guaranteed anything. So if you believe in your products, and you want to get here slowly, and you want to have people that know what they're doing and willing to have that spirit of helping you, then these are the people to help. So I'm going to go ahead. We're sort of running out of time, Ricky, because I know it's a great topic, and I'm going to bring Gino back. So when I bring back Gino, let's show the people that have been watching the show and making comments, whether they're saying hello or they're asking questions. So let me go ahead and bring back Gino. Okay, is that okay, Ricky?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ferdinand, and
Thank
thank
you
you,
so
guys.
much for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and Gino. Gino, my
Oh,
friend, my friend, all of you guys, my friends. Okay, so let's take this moment. Let me acknowledge some of the people that have been watching. Okay, so you can see that your talent and handsomeness have not been wasted on just me. So let me go ahead and show you Kave. Kave is a manufacturer in the Philippines. He makes herbs Herba Monte. Here is his product. Kave, I got it right here on purpose, okay? I want everybody to show I'm very proud of your product. So it's right there. He has tested out blind to ship out products from the markets. You got Carlo Morales. Great show, Ferdinand. For Kissy Carlo, we're trying, but I it's not just me. My guests who have amazing products and value propositions to Philippine manufacturers. I've got Tasi from the Philippines also. So let me see if I can bring her up. She said that. Now, if I can just bring her up, there you go. Perfect opportunity for Philippine manufacturers. She's all the way in the Philippines. And know this individual, Ricky. He's actually watching. So he says, awesome live stream, Ferdinand. Very informative indeed. Watching from Makati, Philippines. And then also some information from, let's see, this one. It's from Mariel. That's the gentleman. And also, I want to bring up Christina Oriel. Christina, say congrats for me. I know he just got married. Good job. And say hello to your mom and dad. So anyway, let me go ahead and I just wanted to show that so that this way you know that people do watch this show and actually really probably have been amazed at what you guys have been saying. That's why I feel like we need to do more of this and really educate what you guys do. So why don't we end the show with some sort of discussion a little bit about what you think, how we should go forward, okay? So let me go ahead and get rid of the picture on the screen. So, okay, guys, what do you want to leave? How can we encourage more Philippine exporting from your perspective? Let me start with Gino. You know, with what you do, how can you tell somebody in the Philippines, the manufacturers, look, buddy, you need to do more exporting. I got you. What can you encourage them?
To me, I think the am I on mute? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. To me, for the Filipino manufacturer trying to go to the US, the number one thing is obviously shoot me an email if you have logistics questions, supply chain questions. Hit me up. Feel free. You have my contact info scrolling at the bottom. But also what I mentioned in my presentation earlier is leverage a 3PL company, the right 3PL company that has the operations execution and has the software and the innovation. And that's what we do at Globalitynet or GNet Logistics, is that we have the infrastructure, the operational execution excellence, and the technology to help small and mid-sized companies thrive in this market, even though they're smaller. You don't have to be the big Samsungs or the big XYZ company out there. You have companies like myself, Globalitynet, to help the small and mid-sized companies thrive in this market.
So to cap off my addition to what Gino said, enhanced efficiency, cost savings, market expertise, scalability and flexibility, and risk mitigation. All of those factors that I just mentioned is what you need to sort of secure what you're trying to do with Philippine manufacturers. And a company like Gino's is the company that you need, because a lot of companies may offer that. But like I said, the beauty of dealing with a Gino and Globalitynet is that they have sort of an affinity to the Philippine products because they want to see more Philippine products here. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of, tug on strings and say that's why he's doing it. And he knows all of that stuff already. But those are the 5 things that I feel like he can bring to the table if you decide you want to be here. You could call it I'm selling his services or promoting it. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's a tool. If you guys don't use it and you have a dream to want to export your products, then you talk to him. So let me go to Ricky of Bayani Pay. Ricky, what other benefits you think besides the one that you mentioned? Maybe you didn't get to mention. Why would they use Bayani Pay, right? Why would they use Bayani Pay? And what really does it really mean for somebody here in the U.S. to want to buy, how do we encourage more Philippine manufacturers? I think you should ask the Philippine manufacturers to go ahead and sign up with you already, so that you can give them a training on how to use Bayani Pay, so that when they have a manufacturer or a buyer here in the U.S., oh, okay, this is how you're going to buy from me. You don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Thank you for that, Ferdinand. But before that, let me add to your question to Gino earlier. My advice actually to the manufacturers in the Philippines is that if they really want to sell to the US, and they've been thinking about it, then maybe stop thinking. They should do it, and they should have resources in terms of who they partner with. And your platform, Ferdinand, that's very important, because you bring them closer to the US, and you sort of like guide them. And, talking to them, you have all the connections. If they need FDA certification, you have that. If you want logistics, you have that. If you want payment, you have that. All they need to do actually is to get the target market correctly, or really tap to the market. Because sometimes you don't want to have your products here and sitting in the warehouse. It should be there in where it deserves to be, in the market, right? So that's my answer to your question, Ferdinand. If they want to sell it, they have to do it. So yeah, and as far as
I completely agree with that.
the market is huge in the US, and for as long as you are compliant, that's okay. In as far as Bayani Pay is concerned, we're actually here and very passionate about what we do, and we're here actually to really support them A to Z in terms of getting paid, making sure that they get value for their efforts, for their products. So that's what we're here actually to talk to them. And then my details are there, scrolling at the bottom. They can email me, and then I can give them their phone number, and we have a huge complement here in the US. And yeah, you're right. We'd like to talk to them, and this is a nice platform for us to tell everybody that we're here.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to say goodbye to both of you, and I'm going to say goodbye to the audience. By myself, I'm going to take you guys out of the screen and sort of rip off what we just did today. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here. We're going to do more shows, because this is not a one and done sort of a show. That is a very critical part of the whole bringing Philippine exporters here. And you know what? The audience stayed around. You guys have a product or a service that is very much needed. That's why, looking from the screen on my side, a lot of people stayed on, and I normally don't get that. They go in and out. So fantastic. Thank you so much for bringing that attention and that credibility show, gentlemen. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to you guys, and I'll talk to you, after the show. And thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Gino.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Jen. All right, everybody. I just want to say thank you again. Okay. I want to say thank you again for being a part of the show. And we want to do more of this. So hopefully you took notice of what we're trying to achieve on a weekly basis. The next event or the next show that we're going to be doing is probably either going to be a live show, live selling again, or we're going to be doing an interview of because here, the other events that we do, or the other activities that we do, is we actually partner up with pop-up events and do events. And I highlight some of these Philippine business, Philam businesses that are trying to make a mark in the local community. So I've been fortunate enough to to collaborate with Eliza Serna of Sama Kana events, and I'm hoping to do more of those type of events where I get to live stream the actual event, but I also get to interview the people that are behind the scenes, the ones that are actually the vendors that are participating in this event. Because I figured, okay, we talk about suppliers, but what about the actual people promoting it here besides obviously Emporium, right? We need to bring them up too, and maybe encourage them to go ahead and bring products here from the US, because they already have that entrepreneurial mindset. And I figured, why not? Let me see if there's any more messages that I need to include. Again, Carlo Morales, Thank you so much, Carlo. I appreciate that very much for you doing that. And then Christina says, I can feel your passion. Ricky, yes, a lot of great opportunities for cross-border payments. I cannot even begin to figure out the potential for Bayani Pay and for Globalitynet and its 3PL and 4PL logistics services. So I'm excited for them. So I better get off the screen and save it for the next show. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to say goodbye here, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed the show. And thank you for participating. Thank you for giving comments. Thank you for trying to support Philippine-made products and the way we're promoting the Philippine-made products, services, and investments here in the U.S. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll say bye-bye.
Currently live in Emporium in the Philippines. I want to say magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat, and for the people